for some reason. So we'd be probably hard pressed at this point to find an organization, a school, who doesn't have diversity as a strategic sort of goal.
Right.
But the actual enactment of that, especially when it comes down to recruitment, is where it sort of gets lost. And I see it in sort of the three major spaces that I've seen it in my work. First off, in sourcing. So right off the bat, when we're trying to generate a pipeline, there's a lack of sort of intentionality around getting diverse quality candidates into the pipeline. It's almost just doing it to do it at this point, instead of doing it to get a high quality diverse candidate into the pipeline. And if they're not at the front end, they won't be at the end. They won't get hired if they're not even in the pool. So sourcing I've seen is a really big issue. It's always an issue because recruitment is so reactive and so busy that it's hard to get out there and get ahead of it. But every way we can, I think that's a big piece. The next piece is definitely just barriers that are embedded within the process that people don't even know about. Job titles, job descriptions. Some processes don't allow you to, in the applicant tracking system, they don't allow you to put in gaps. Stop the application because they took a leave of absence or they were off work for a certain amount of time and they don't want to share that information. So little things like that are these deeply embedded sort of processes that actually knock people out of the process who might be a great quality candidate from a diverse background. So that's a really big one that I find pops up a lot when I actually dig into my clients' processes. We identify some things that are knocking people out, or people are self-selecting out of the process because they're coming up to some sort of barrier. And then the last piece is measurement. I always ask first, what are your metrics? What are you looking at? And diversity is a tough one because, we have EEOC and we have legislative sort of things that we need to stay with. But aside from that, there isn't really, a sales target, or there aren't really easy objective criteria that we can use as metrics. Example is my last recruiting job. I had to have a diverse candidate for each position. But
diverse.
Completely undefined. What does that actually mean? And how am I demonstrating that? And what happens if they don't get hired or do get hired? And what happens if they get hired and don't stay? So there was really no actual accountability to do it or to do it well. So really thinking about the metrics to make sure people are actually doing this well on a regular basis and keeping them accountable, I think will